10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio.
Welcome back to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined as always by the technician, Chris Aceto. On this, I can't believe it, we're saying August 3rd, 2020 evening. And Chris, we finally have a show to report on. Can you believe it?
Before
The
people are going to
Tampa
kill
Pro.
us. I know people are going to kill us for not talking anything bodybuilding.
I know. It's in the books. Hunter Labrada, pro debut, like his father, wins it, going to the Olympia at the end of the year. Are we seeing, we're seeing like a dynasty here, right? Another second generation. We had Sergio Oliva Jr. do it first, and now we have Hunter.
they both won their first pro shows.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is, though, Hunter Labrada has better genetics than his father.
But he looks exactly like his father, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Isn't it
But he's
scary?
got better. What I mean is, you know what? He's bigger, and Lee Labrada never really had a back double bicep, so to speak. I mean, close your eyes and think of Sean Ray's back double bicep in the that era, and then think of, let's say, Lee's. It was a weak, very weak body part for him.
Right, and Lee was a lot shorter than Hunter is.
Yeah. So,
Hunter
better high five his mother for the extra genetics, for the height, right?
You're right.
The width.
You're right. There's a good. See, thank mom. It's funny, but Hunter looks exactly like Lee, and everyone says that Lee was 5'6" and Hunter's only 5'5". Hunter's 5'9". It's not really that big a difference. I said, there's no way that Lee was 5'6". There's a picture of him next to Sean Ray at the show. He's like, Sean Ray's like towering over him. Did you see that picture?
No, I didn't. I thought maybe he's 5'5". He can't be 5'4".
I'm telling you, unless he shrunk, everyone shrinks a little bit when they get older, I guess. But did you see they gave a Lifetime Achievement Award to Sean Ray there?
See that? No.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find that pillow. Let me see if I can find the picture of them giving out the. I'm telling you, Lee is like Sean looks like he's like unless Sean could be wearing lifts in his shoes.
Sean may have boots, to get that award. He might have, right?
It's true.
Stallone used to wear the inserts, right? They make him like 2 or 3 inches taller. So maybe Sean did.
Yes, Stallone. That's right. I read that. Didn't he have like 4-inch lifts or something like that? It's funny. It had to be a tough show. I mean, I know everyone was like, everyone had to be masked there. It had to be a real nuisance. You see the competitors on stage, they don't have masks, but I think everyone was masked backstage and all that stuff. And I don't know. It had to be difficult to cover the show there, I would imagine. Wearing a mask, it's got to be real. Think about the judging. They have to sit there all day and judge. You think they must have been wearing masks, I guess, right?
I don't know.
I would imagine. They'd have to be, right?
I don't know. I thought I saw a picture. I mean, in Omaha, I saw people not wearing masks who were judges.
Yeah. I think Florida's a lot different. I think they had a lot more stringent rules here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Tampa, but Miami does. I know their rules are really strict game.
From what I understand, even Australia is on lockdown now. Did you know that?
They're almost on full. It's like
6 weeks they're locking those guys down. I feel bad for those bodybuilders there. I had a lot of clients here there, and they were just like on serious lockdown.
Yeah. And New Zealand's got nothing.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I mean, they're separated. They're islands. I mean, they're not right next.
I know, but it's. I mean, there's still right.
There's flow there. There's flow of people there. You can't go back and forth. Well, look. Let's talk about the show a little bit. It was a 2-man show.
Well, a lot of it because people are just, you know, how many people text me and say just people just so excited that there's a show.
Yeah, yeah. But it really, I mean, it came down to, I don't, we can discuss if the placings were right, but let's talk about the 2-man call out, Iain Valliere, who was, being, people gave us flack because we didn't know Ian was doing the show. Like he wasn't on the competitors list last week. Like, how the freak are we supposed to?
Well, there's a travel ban to any retard who may have said.
And I didn't think he was going to come from Canada. That's what I thought. It's amazing he made it. He probably drove. I don't know. Anyway, Ian, from what John Hansen reported on our wrap up we did Saturday night, he said that Ian was like tan was really bad. He was very flat. He looked out of it. I don't know. You think he was sick or something like that? I haven't talked to him or anything like that, but
I think, you know what? Here's what I see. Imagine how crappy. I was going to say Lee Labrada. How bad does he look like Lee there?
You know how many times I called him Lee yesterday in the wrap up? Yeah.
Think how quote crappy Hunter would look if Hunter had his tan, and think how good Ian would look if he had Hunter's tan there.
Hunter's tan is amazing. It's like just like Lee's, right?
His a 10 and on the Richter scale, and Ian's does not register. I mean, his color is so bad. And how many times have you? I mean, color counts in when it's a close show between first and second because your eyes go to the right. And sometimes when your color is really good, you look harder than when your color is like pretty good.
Yeah.
So this was the first thing I noticed about Ian is absolutely horrible color. And then the second thing is horrible stage presence.
Yeah, you think he was nervous? I mean, I can't even figure it out. I mean, he's been on the Olympia stage before, so it's not like this is not his first go around here.
He's won shows as well, so
yeah.
I don't know, but it's just an interesting observation. At least I think it is that he has completely no color and has no stage presence for somebody who's won shows.
It's baffling to me. Look at this shot. I love this shot. This back double. Great back double comparison. Look at the polish like on Labrada. I mean, I almost, you have to almost say like I feel like Ian has a better back double, but like it's just not being shown off, like you said. That's why I felt like he was a little flat to me. Like I think, he's so big in the off season. Even like 2 weeks out from the show, you see those pictures. He looks like Dorian.
It goes as well to somebody. He's a taller guy, even though he doesn't look that much taller than Labrada here, but he's a taller guy and he's got a lot of width, and that type of physique can go flat in 3 hours.
Time. Yeah, you're right.
And people would laugh, but there are some physiques like that can go flat in 3 hours. And I did see some pictures, obviously, of the night show, and yes, he rectified his tan, so that made him look much different, much improved. Right. But he also looked fuller, so I mean, he could have been flat here. Sure. But having said that, Labrada looks tremendous here at the back double as well.
I love the shot. I think that, Lee Priest seems to think that Hunter could be a potential Mr. Olympia in the future. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that he reminds me to some degree of Flex Lewis. They don't have crazy V tapers, but what they have is cap delts, big arms, right?
Right.
Good deep muscle maturity, which is surprising considering Labrada's young, because it's hard to get that. Yeah, I think he's going to do well in the Olympia this year.
You do?
Yeah, because you do this. You just take the top 10 from last year and say 5 of the top 10 were off.
And who's gonna be able to make it out to the show, right?
It's crazy right now, right?
Yeah.
I guess if right now, you can't travel from Europe to the US. So that means that Bonac is out. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We still got to critique this show, but Bonac can't come.
Mm-hmm. Unless he gets over here and, I would come like 2 months early, and just stays in the U.S. I mean, that's
no. I mean, you can't come now.
True,
but maybe there's a sports.
Maybe you can go by boat or something like that.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll make exceptions to the rule. I mean, they make exceptions for medical people, so maybe they'll make exceptions for athletes. Even though they probably say, well, we make exceptions for athletes, but we don't consider bodybuilding an athlete.
We don't consider it a sport.
Yeah, it's funny that I have to live this sport 24/7 a day, but you don't consider me who's making that decision? They don't consider me an athlete.
I have no idea. It's like I said. It's sad. Unfortunately, it's a sad.
Right, we're in 2000. Can you imagine 2020? And you have people. Well, it's not really. They're not really athletes. They're more like they put on.
It's kind of like a beauty pageant.
It's a beauty pageant with muscle and. Yeah, but the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, was one. Well, he wasn't an athlete either.
Yeah,
exactly. Think if Arnold was like a basketball player in the NBA became governor.
Sure. Well, Bill Bradley, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
He was a basketball player, and he was the state senator with Jersey for like how many years?
Yeah, long time.
That when I was growing up, that's what they always said. They always said Bill Bradley. They always threw that. My parents always said that. They were very fond of Bill Bradley because he went to Princeton, right? He went to Princeton on a scholarship for basketball. So he was a very intelligent guy, and then he had a great career in the NBA, and then he also went on to become a senator. So like that's Bill Bradley. That's who you have to be like. That was thrown in my face.
I'm like Lenny Dykstra comes to mind. Played baseball. Went to the pen for
for tax evasion, scamming old people out of their pensions. Yeah. Oh my God. So
that was my impression. I mean, that was my impression, and I thought it was when you come out flat like Ian came out, and with. I think that the color issue was as bad as the, quote, fullness issue. I think he had absolutely no chance because if you're probably, I mean, I'm not there, but you're right there. You wouldn't even look at the guy.
Yeah. I feel bad for Ian. I definitely something is wrong. You could tell. There's definitely something went wrong with his prep or something, or maybe got in at the last minute. I don't know. It just he wasn't even smiling on stage.
Well, I mean,
that was a big look at let me pull up another picture here.
That's what I said. Stage presence was terrible. I didn't watch the video. I could tell from a couple pictures. Maybe
you see this picture. Look at that look on his face. That is not look at Labrada smiling like most competitors smile on stage. Ian looks miserable up there. His underarms look like they have no tan on them. I mean, something is wrong. Maybe he's sick. I don't know. I'm going to try to get him on the TV show because he's a good guy. I like him a lot, and he's a talented kid, and he's been improving every year. Something went wrong. I'm telling you.
Maybe he realized his tan was terrible. Then he had freaked out with nerves, and I'm serious.
Well, that's what. Yeah, we were talking Lee Priest.
Sometimes, have you ever seen someone with a tan, and you're like, I don't think the tan is good enough. And then that
you're not going to be in a good mood if I know what you're saying. If you don't look good, something. But you have to fake it. I mean, look, there's been the best bodybuilders in the world have had terrible tans before, and they fake their way through it. And you come back. Guess what, Chris? You come back to the night show, okay, with a better tan, right? So didn't someone tell him, hey, Ian, your tan is terrible. Can you fix this thing at the night show? I'm sure. People were calling him and telling him that, right?
Yeah, you know what Jay always says about the tan?
What?
You gotta have a genuine, real base.
That I mentioned that also doing the wrap up. I said he's as white as a ghost. I know he's up in Canada, but you got to lay in a tanning bed. Maybe there's no tanning beds open with the COVID. I have no idea.
You got to have, for a lot of people who are very pale, you have to have some type of base.
Yeah. Branch Warren had a problem with tanning for many years because of that same reason. Because he was always so white. But you know what? If he got dark, he had Liquid Sun Rays or one of those, I think, companies, working on him, or Jantan, one of those, and they got his tan perfect after a while, So, I mean, I just think that let's speculate. If Ian was at his best, does he beat Labrada?
No, I don't know. I don't want to speculate because it takes away from Labrada's impressive.
It doesn't, because Labrada showed up at his best and won.
I was going to make a joke and say, yeah, I'd kill him though. But it would have been a hell of a lot more
closer,
exciting. Yeah, closer.
Yeah.
I mean, he ended the show last year. I was there. I don't have to be there again to know that he was better last year.
Right. No, you're right. All right, let's we'll brag about the Hunter in a little bit. Let's talk about Dwayne Walker, who came in the second spot. Excuse me, the third spot. A lot of people thought that he was good enough to come in second here. What do you think about him? I love his front double bicep, by the way.
I love his front lat spread. I mean, front lat. If you like his front double, post up his front lat spread. Smokes. Arguably the best.
You're right.
Not arguably. He has the best front lat spread out of the top three, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Which is saying a ton. Even that
why wasn't he in the top three instead of a top two? You think that was like the pre-hype Instagram pose out, or was it legitimately those two guys were so separate? Because he looks like he could definitely be in that group for sure.
Well, he should be in that group. I mean, if you look like that, I mean, his condition is excellent, right?
Yeah, it's good for him.
End of story.
He has a great back double too. He's not. I mean, look. I mean, the guy's good.
That's the front lat spread you dream about, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this.
Shredded pecs. Look at his
Look at the ab thigh shot with the quads. He's good. I mean, he doesn't really have any weaknesses.
I think I think I would have liked to have seen the top three, just like the A call out with top three.
Yeah.
But that said, he definitely earned the spot. You can make, because Ann's bigger, still, he's still bigger, wider.
He's not quite as Dwayne is not quite as grainy from behind as these guys. I'll put up the back double, but he's got potential like oozing out of him, right?
Yeah.
He's got the Coleman glutes there, right?
Well, I wouldn't say Coleman glutes.
No, that's the shape of the glutes. I'm not saying it looks like. I'm saying he's got to be bigger, obviously. But I'm saying
good hands, good glutes, good rhomboids. He's very good. Very impressed.
He's got all the makings of a great competitor. I don't know who Joe. I'm surprised he hasn't called you yet.
I don't even know who he is. How's that? I've never. I mean, how impressive is that placing?
Yeah.
Never heard the name before.
No, he did great. You got to take your hat off to him. I agree. I after looking at the pictures, I think he's got great potential. I think that they got the top two correct.
Yeah. I mean, they got it right. But it'd be nice to see it in a top three call out.
From the pictures, I'm saying, because we're not there, obviously. So I hate judging the show from the pictures. That's why I got John Hansen on the wrap up yesterday, because he was sitting in the front row there, even though I think he was having a few drinks. Chris, I didn't even know John Hansen drank alcohol. Did you?
Well, maybe that's why he doesn't, and he couldn't handle the alcohol, and that's why he couldn't do the final wrap up.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Well, John would say this guy looks like a young Ronnie Coleman. Coleman, of course, contest history. And then it just lists it like it was right, like his home address. Coleman, had the breakthrough in the '92 Texas, of course. Brian Dobson trained him. Didn't take any anabolics till 1996.
Here's fourth place Phil Kilhar, who I helped actually.
This guy's fantastic, Dave.
Yeah, he's got some good.
Yeah,
really good
you know what? I've seen him last year. What place did he get last year here?
I don't remember.
He should have placed higher wherever he was.
Yeah. When I helped
wherever he was, ended up, and that was a really good line. That was a great lineup last year.
Phil's got
And
a hard worker, brought in great conditioning. You know, next year
these pictures don't do him justice. Okay,
No,
so see,
no. He was better at the night show. These are the prejudging pictures. He was really, really hard at the night show. I filled him up a little more, I think. He's got one of those physiques that once he's in shape, you can feed him like you almost can't feed him too much, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, you get nervous, like, because I'm a big conditioning guy, so like I'd rather him be a little on the flatter side, you know, and so I always err a little bit on the for prejudging on the lighter side, and then I'll feed him a lot, and he really filled that at night tremendously. But really good, you know. He's on the upswing. I'm trying to get him to New York, do New York Pro, but he's from Tampa. He thinks they're not going to let him into New York. I said, believe me, you get into New York. I said, drive there if you have to. Who cares? So anyway, Phil, I just want to take my hat off to him. He's a super nice guy, and he's a really hard worker. And it was my pleasure to work with him actually for the show. Now, a lot of people also were talking, and I love his physique as well. I don't know if you saw his physique. Ronald Gordon.
Yeah, he looked great.
Let me pull him up. I love his front double. Right? Isn't that a great front double?
Yeah.
Just fix it a little bit here.
A lot of natural potential. I mean, just shoulders, arms, legs.
I mean, look at the separation in the quads.
Yeah, he looks tremendous.
Great abs, big structure. He probably could hold another 10, 15 pounds on that frame and still look good, you know.
Hard to find a knock on that.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of talent in this Tampa lineup. I really think it was a sleeper show. I think a lot of people, you know, didn't anticipate there because there was a lot of guys that just no one really was expecting who are going to do the stuff that they did. Look at this.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen a show, so right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, we kind of usually know who the front runners are, so to speak.
That's a great side chest.
I mean, this guy's really good. I mean, you know, you could make a case for him.
Funny. Yeah, third. He could have placed as high as third, I thought.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I wonder, I mean, what is the distinction between
hold on, let me
him
back double.
And the guy who got third?
I don't know.
Listen, I don't even know their names. The guy who got third.
Hold on.
You're going to know their names soon, though, because both of them are going to do good in future shows without a doubt.
All these guys were terrific. There's a picture here. Look at that back double on Ron Gordon.
It's very impressive.
Yeah. I would say the whole top five was spectacular. Great talent. I think everyone was in really good shape.
I look like Ron Harris with these glasses on.
You look at Woody Allen, yeah. But I think that this is, you know, it makes me feel kind of good to know that we have some new talent kind of coming into the open ranks, right? That have really good potential. We see new talent, but you don't see the potential to go far, you know? Yeah. A lot of times these guys come in, you're like, oh, this guy's in good shape, but you don't see him ever like being an Olympia guy. You know, put 15, 20 pounds on everyone from third, fourth, and fifth. I mean, how dangerous do those three guys become?
Extremely. You know, so I mean that
devastatingly dangerous, I think.
This is fifth place, right?
This is fifth place, yeah.
Sixth was who? Dorian Haywood.
Dorian Haywood, yeah.
He made a big jump in size too. He looked really impressive.
Yeah, all these guys. I'm telling you that. I think this I think this quarantine made people have to diet longer. You know, because everyone thought they were going to compete earlier, and they weren't able to. So a lot of these people have been dieting since February almost. You know, and you know, for a lot of guys, they need to diet that long because it just brings in a better look. Here's Dorian. He was, you know, he's always hard. And, you know, I think that we got a really good showing for our money, which was zero. I didn't spend anything. I didn't even leave my house. But no, what I'm saying is I thought that a lot of people, these are the guys who are dedicated. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they found a way, Chris, to get to a gym during a time when there was obviously gyms were closed. They found a way to continue dieting. They found a way to get the job done and get up on that stage in Tampa. And I got to tell you, it wasn't easy for them because of everything that was going on. Look, I worked with Phil, and Phil couldn't go to the gym for a couple of weeks, and I was like, find a place to train, and he made it happen. He did it, and he worked through it. And if he had to do some body weight exercises for a couple of weeks, but he found a way to get it done and get up on that stage, and he still looked great. And I think he would have looked, had he not, had we not had the quarantine, he would have competed probably 3 months earlier. And he would have, maybe looked better because he would have, but he still made it to the stage. And so I really, I'm impressed that these guys got up there and looked as good as they did. And, that says a lot. People don't realize how hard that was. And I'm not talking about just the bodybuilders. I'm talking about every division, it was hard for, because everyone had to face the same challenges, and they did.
Well, how about putting on the show at all?
Well, yeah, we talked about that last week. Tim Gardner, man, hats off to him, because
how stressful was that?
Oh my God, I should get him on. I should interview him like during the week next week and talk. He's got to have to be on blood pressure medication. There's no doubt about it, because
I'm sure he has some stories, right?
I'm sure, because I'm sure that the politics of just dealing with the state alone of Florida and making, kissing their ass enough to let them have him hold the show. And the hotel, think about they had so many rules about how many people could be in a room. And
think about it. Back up. There was far less COVID in the U.S. at the Arnold, and they said no contest. You're not even having at some point. They said you're not even having the contest. Okay, you can have the prejudgment with zero audience.
True.
And now it's running rampant. Florida's like the new epicenter.
I know.
And Tim Gardner pulls it off.
It's amazing.
How stressed is he? But I mean, the point you made was the politics of it. Who knows how much hoops he had to jump through in terms of.
Yeah, I'd love to know the backstory behind it, for sure. For sure. Let's talk about the 212 division. George Peterson, first 212 show. He's got a victory already, Chris, in the books. How impressed were you?
How many times on this show did I say he's not a classic guy? I was 100% right.
Yeah, no, we voted. Everyone's
fabulous hair.
And I thought he could have been a little drier even, and he still looked amazing.
This is fantastic. This is a Terry Pastel looking.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah, he looks a little like Terry Pastel. You're right.
He looks great.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. That is
great stage presence, great posing, great condition, great fullness.
I think that, like I said, even I talked to his coach Justin, who's obviously a good friend of mine, and he's like, I think he could have been he could have been a little harder, but he goes, obviously did enough to win here, and I agree. I think especially from the back, I've seen George harder. I think at the night show he was a little tighter, but once again, it just goes to show how good he is. He's that good that he doesn't even need to be at 100% to win. And they were upset that he couldn't do the Open. How do you think he would have done in the Open?
I think he would have been very competitive to some degree. I mean, your eyes would go to the condition and the midsection and the leg separation and the width. I mean, judges love a crazy back, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
His back is better than the guy who was 5th place.
Sure. Yeah.
What did he?
Those guys are a lot bigger. Bob, just when you put a guy like him who's short and thick against a guy with a big, huge structure like that, I mean, maybe he would have gotten lost in
Did he want to do the Open?
He did. He did. I don't know why they don't.
Come on, dude. Calm it down. You just came from Classic. Don't have to go.
He wanted to do both. I don't know why. It was on different days. Even if it was on the same day, I don't know why they wouldn't let him. Who cares? Let him do both. I don't know what the stupid rule is. George wants me to do a rant on it. I said, I do a rant every week on the show about it. I rant about it. I said, I don't know why they don't do it. Silly. If he wants to do wellness, they should let him do wellness too. Who cares? No, seriously. But yeah, I mean, right now he should stick for 212. When you look at this, do you get a little nervous knowing that you could coach Kamal?
No. I mean, just because George Peterson is, I'm no dummy. He's a threat to Kamal for sure, and he's not the only threat to Kamal.
Right.
I mean, I've said that. I've said, when Roden was Mr. Olympia, and we would talk about Roden after the Olympia, I would say if Sean Roden thinks he's going to repeat like easy or kind of sort of easy, or he's got another thing coming.
Who knew that Sean Roden wouldn't be beat by another competitor, but by some stupid.
My point simply is that I think, and I've said this about Brandon Caribbean, Mr. Olympia. I think Brandon can repeat. I think Brandon can lose. I think there's people who can beat Brandon, and I think that Kamal can repeat, and I think Kamal can lose. Yeah. I think there's more than one person who can beat Brandon, and I think there's more than one person who can beat Kamal.
Yeah.
It's just, look at Ian Valliere. I mean, yes, his tan sucks, and yes, he's like a nervous wreck looking on prejudging, but he looks a lot different at the night show. So sometimes peaking, right? So if Kamal's not at his best, or this guy's not at his best, and so-and-so's at their absolute best, it changes the dynamic. So I think George Peterson is a threat to Kamal for sure.
Yeah. Detrick Bo Lewis.
Fabulous.
Place. Another phenomenal.
Phenomenal. He was phenomenal in Puerto Rico last year, and he's even more phenomenal here. That's a great shot right there.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I pulled that one up. I really love that shot a lot.
That is the way a side tricep should look like.
Isn't it funny how we have such weak 212 classes, and then all of a sudden we get Tampa here, and it's like, bam.
When do we have week 212? When is it?
No, we haven't had a really dynamite looking 212 class for quite a while, And
you mean all the way through, like in depth?
Yeah, I'm like talking like up on stage, and then now all of a sudden we have some new guys that we haven't even seen before. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, side tricep is off the hook. Really, really good flow to that shot.
Right. I mean,
great midsection, great shoulder arm tie-in. His pecs are still full. Hamstrings from the side are deep.
I think he's another guy that we're going to see on that Olympia stage, and
yeah, without a doubt.
And he's going to be very dangerous. What about? Let's look at third place, because there's not. I mean, Derek Oslin has been around for a long time. He's got a phenomenal physique.
Derek Oslin improved so much that when I saw the comparison photos, not only did I not recognize his physique, I didn't know who it was. I didn't recognize his face.
He's really tight here. Dry.
I had no idea that was him when I saw the pictures.
I thought he was going to win when I saw the prejudging pictures initially. Of in the comparison shots, he's very dominant. He's really hard.
And he's got that is a superb V taper right there.
Oh yeah,
with the big flare on the thighs. His thighs got better.
He's a good poser too.
This is a marked jump in conditioning and size for I think what he's had like in the last 2 years, because he's placed well. He's placed well in shows, and he's always placed well in shows, and you can still be critical of certain areas. I think this was like perfect peak for him. I don't think.
Look at the back double. I mean, he's got a lot going on there. He's just not as big as Peterson, which is funny when you say that, because George came from classic. I think George put like 15 pounds on from last year. But He's good in the lineup. He's very good in the lineup.
Yeah, he's Dave. That's a great analysis. He's always been where he placed good in the past. Like he'd come up by himself, and you say, "Oh, he's pretty good. This guy's good. Good. He's good." And then you see him in the lineup, and he looks better. He compares well with people because he doesn't have really many weaknesses, and his structure and shape is really good.
Let me pull up a comparison shot because.
Well, his back doesn't look that good in this picture, but in the back double when he's compared to people looked really good.
Right.
That's when I didn't recognize him. I wasn't sure who it was.
Look at here's the 212 first call out shot with Aaron Clark, obviously all the way on the right, who looked really good too in his comeback.
Yeah.
I got to say one thing though. I mean, but look at Derek on the left there. I mean, he's got a good taper and everything like that. George has just got a little bit more wows, but it's not a blowout, by any means.
Yeah, no, it's just he held his own against.
Bo Lewis looks great in that.
Yeah, he does. Good big
shot.
vacuum, gigantic arms.
Now, I don't know how long he was away from the stage, but.
Aaron Clark?
Aaron Clark was an Olympian. Top 5 Olympian. If people might not even remember that, And the only thing that changes is he doesn't have any hair now. I guess who he reminds me of now? He reminds me of Mike Morris. Remember Mike Morris?
Oh yeah, of course.
He doesn't look like Mike Morris. Mike Morris had to shave his head too at one point.
He's got the same density as Mike Morris.
Yeah.
Mike Morris is super dense.
Yeah, Mike had a lot of muscle in his body. Aaron's always in shape, I don't even know. He's also a guy who struggles with his tan. And the tan is not terrible here. I think it could be a little darker.
It's almost terrible. It's almost terrible.
Yeah. But he always struggles with his tan. I remember the first show he ever did. He even reminded me. He said, "Dave, you told me my tan was terrible." I said, "Well, you fixed it."
I guarantee he's harder looking. Right? That this is an example of a bad tan. That's how you know. He's harder. You can see.
Absolutely. Look at this back double.
The thin skin.
He's got great back double. And he's really a victim of just like going up against the, really well. I mean, he's probably the biggest, hardest guy in the class. Maybe the other guys have a little better structure than he does. But look at that back double.
Yeah.
It's crazy glutes and hams and everything like that. It's a lot of muscle. Remember, he moved up to the open. A lot of people don't realize. And then obviously it didn't work out well for him in the open. He came back down. I think he's a definite 212 guy. No doubt. He doesn't look flat here. This is a good look for him. Like you said, tan wins shows.
Well, I think this is a natural weight for him because I think when he turned pro, I can't remember when it was or what it was. We need John Hansen. Get John Hansen.
I'll tell you when he turned pro. He beat Anthony Pasquale. You remember?
Oh, that's right.
That USA. What year was
he
that?
Looked dynamite when he won the USA.
Yeah.
That was a battle versus Pasquale.
Yeah.
I don't know, 2011? I don't know, 10?
Somewhere around there, yeah. Crazy. So, great 212, great open class. Tim's got to be thrilled that they got such great competition here. Let me see if I could, hold on. I want to pull up the classic guys because they were really good too. I know you love the good DeAndre Campbell who won classic.
Yeah, he looked very good. Dense.
That's it. He looks like almost like a what's his name? Patrick Moore almost looking physique.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good front double.
That's a Patrick Moore look to me. That's a guy who can definitely challenge at the Olympia. I think
big arms, the big arms, big legs for a classic guy.
Yeah, and that's a lot of those guys don't have the legs that he has. Holy Hulk is his nickname, Chris. Isn't that a great nickname?
Holy Hulk.
Holy Hulk. Yeah.
Oh, Holy Hulk.
HULK. Yeah. That's what it is on his Instagram, at least. I love it. I think it's a great nickname. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, his back is extremely good too. I saw a couple back shots.
And he beats a really good Divine Wilson too. It's not like these guys were both really good in this lineup. So you can't say, well, he beat a a crappy lineup. I mean, these guys were called out the other one too, and obviously DeAndre just has a little more, I think, a little more wow, a little more muscle, probably.
I think a little bit more muscles.
But Divine is in great shape too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he gets very hard.
His back shots are crazy, you know. He's like a little mini Kai Green, you know. Look at this back double. Hold on. You're supposed to
you need faster speed to drag up these pictures, by the way.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to be talking while I'm doing it, so that I'm not looking like I'm dragging. You're waiting like a little. Waiting like my son Logan for the next werewolf.
I'm being critical. Wow, Dave, you know what? You really should be. And then I hear clicking in the background. That's what you do. Chris, you tapping back there? Yeah, I'm texting Dave while doing the show.
Yeah, well, that's why you're supposed to be talking.
You're
supposed to be giving me the great commentary on all these guys and why they're so wonderful.
Remember the guy right? Divine had the meltdown when he got second. Remember that year?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, I bring that up not to be critical, but
in Pittsburgh.
Who
beat him? That's when Laureus beat him?
Yes, Steve Laureus beat him, and it was controversial, and Divine was like mega peeled, and he got pissed or something, and a testament to the judges. I mean, right? Because people would say, well, you're blackballed for good.
Yeah, I mean, everyone guys get upset when sometimes everyone knows that. He apologized anyway. He came on the TV show and did it. But great classic group there. I mean, both guys were great. The whole lineup was good. The whole classic lineup was really good.
Top five was really good. What happened to Logan Franklin? I thought he was doing the show.
I don't know. It's a good question. Did he do classic? I mean, did he do men's physique?
No, he's switched.
That's what I thought too. I don't even see him in the lineup. Maybe he didn't make it.
No, he did not make it. But that's why I said, what's happening with him?
I don't know. Maybe he held off. I don't know. He's got a young kid. Maybe he didn't want to go into the COVID-infested Tampa.
Yeah. Could be.
My zip code has got the most cases of COVID. According to
you don't leave the grounds.
No, we went to
go to the bagel store.
7-Eleven today.
I can't believe you go to 7. You actually go?
I had to pick my son up from grandma's house today because he spent the night, first time in a while, and he loved it. And so his whole thing is when he gets in the car, we got to go to 7-Eleven. So Amanda had a little mask for him. I take him in there with the mask. I tell him don't touch anything, stay away from people and everything like that. And we sanitize his hands, the whole shtick. He's like, it was like letting a person out of a loony bin going into there. He ran in there. He couldn't get to the Slurpee machine fast enough because he likes to take the cups, and fill them himself.
Oh, do you let him? Yeah.
Yes, I let him. I don't have a choice. He grabs the cup and he starts. He take every slurp. There's like 6 or 7 different flavors. He'll put everyone in the cup. Like he'll do a mixture, of them.
Do you get the Diet Coke one?
I don't let him yet. There's a Coke one. I'm like, no, too much and he knows. He goes, caffeine. I know, caffeine. He comes home. He's like, Mom, I got caffeine. He has only.
Do you get the Diet Coke one?
No, I don't. No, they don't have a Diet Coke one here. I wish they did.
My 7-Eleven has a Diet Coke.
Oh no, they don't. They have a regular Coke one here. They have a reduced sugar one. I sometimes, when I used to pick him up from school, because we used to go every day, and when he was in school, and I used to get the sugar-free one. Yeah, it was pretty good. They're good, especially when it's really hot out, man. Oh, I suck the whole thing down before we even get home. I'm like, I can't control myself. He had to get ice cream, and he got like Skittles and he was like I'm telling you, he was like a person who was like an addict that was let out or something like that. But I feel bad. The kids can't go anywhere. It's like 7-Eleven is a big deal for him.
Yeah, playgrounds are closed.
Even the playgrounds. Yeah, I don't know, but the playgrounds here are open. But we're afraid to take them there. Who knows? This because the last time we went once. I think since the whole COVID thing, there was 1 million kids there because these kids they need activity.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
I mean, luckily we have the pool in the backyard. I mean, that helps a lot.
we're getting ready to do the show, and Dave says, my kids are going in the pool. What time was that? 9:45? I'm like,
Yeah, it was 9:30. They were in the pool.
Is that the third time for the day?
No, it was only the first time because he was at grandma's house and they had to take a nap, and and then it was going to rain here, so we couldn't do that. And then it never rained, so we said, all right, let's put him in. Andre Ferguson, Chris. I'll tell you what I love about Andre Ferguson. Here's a guy who wins the Arnold, right? He's second at the Olympia. I mean, he's won every show. He's like the Dexter of the men's physique world.
He's got balls.
He doesn't care. He just does every show. And he even says it when I interview him. He's like, I don't care. I'm doing every show. He doesn't even care. It's not about the money or anything like that. He's like, I like to compete.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in his position would be afraid to put it on the line. They'd be afraid to lose.
He doesn't care.
Obviously.
That's why he's so good. I think the more you're on stage, especially in men's physique, the more comfortable you become too. See, when I competed, I used to be very uncomfortable when I first started. But once I started doing guest posings, Chris, like every weekend, I lost the stage fear and became much more natural. So I think for Andre, he's so natural on stage because he's on stage all the time. And Milos told me the same thing, when he competed so much. He's like, it wasn't even like a big deal. It was like just like another day at the office, so to speak. So the men's physique guy should be, he's always in shape, Andre. He diets for 6 weeks. He does the show and he wins. He'll do more. You'll see. He's not done. I guarantee whatever shows are left for he'll probably win every pro show this year. There might not be any guys in the Olympia because of him. He's going to take all the wins.
They'll have to come up with a different.
It'll be him and Ray Edmonds, rematch.
Yeah, he looks phenomenal here.
I mean, I think close.
Go through the list. Go through the list. Everyone top 5 is like insane.
Yeah, I wanted to make a ninth place. By the way, was Michael Anderson, who also won the Masters 40 and over. Now, the reason I mention it, when we first started reporting on men's physique, Chris, you were very big on Michael Anderson. He was winning shows left and right.
Yeah.
And he lost he had his leg amputated because he had some kind of crazy clot. And he's still competing. Look how good he looks.
I remember the name.
Top 9, one leg, and wins the Masters. You got to say holy mackerel to this guy. I mean, if you can't get motivated by him.
You have a great memory, Dave. You're becoming John Hansen. That he was like my favorite guy. You know why he was my favorite? What year was that?
When did men's physique start? I don't even know.
He was so crazy dialed
for
the time. Like the other guys were like, I get kind of like a beach body, but I'm pretty darn tight. And he just came in like crazy.
The guys weren't so big either back then. And so he was really he was right in there. He was able to win shows because no one was out muscling him because they didn't really want – people forget they didn't want big guys initially. Yeah. They wanted conditioning. They wanted pecs and abs and arms and stuff like that, but they didn't want – like giant. Now they want giant guys. They want bodybuilders basically upper body wise, and his upper body came up a lot. I think he's amazing.
Yeah,
the fact that he can train. People don't realize. Think people say, "Well, they don't judge legs," but you know what? When you train your upper body, your legs are your base. You need to use your legs to train your upper body. Try doing a bent over row with one leg.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right? I mean, you can't do that. You could maybe bench pressing is not quite as hard, but try to balance yourself on a bench with one leg. Doesn't work so easy. So
good point.
Take my hat off to him, man. Really, really impressive. And then good.
Go through, run through the guys because I was so impressed with this class.
Yeah, I wanted to bring him up because I think he's a special case.
Congratulations, he is a special case.
Anthony Gilks places in that second position. He was really good too. I'll pull his picture up just to give him some props.
And this was the biggest class.
Yeah, there was 1 million guys in this.
Right?
It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
I mean,
you can
the
go.
men's physique guys can go to the playground and they could do.
You can go 15 deep too. Like the top 15 were really, really, really good.
I'm not going to pull everyone up, but needless to say, I think there was like 30, 40 guys in the class. And there was a master's class as well. So
there was someone in this class. I think the guy who got fourth, I thought was completely off the hook here. I was surprised he didn't get second.
all right, let me pull him up.
No disrespect to, even though it's disrespectful in a way, but just my personal preference.
Corey Morris.
I know him when I see him.
Yeah, and I know Corey. I've seen him before. Oh, look, he had like a 16-inch waist. Yeah.
No. The next guy. There was another guy.
No, this is the guy you're talking about. I'm impressed with him. I forgot about him actually. I actually posted. I was so impressed with him, Chris, that I actually put a picture of him on my Instagram. And I never do. Like I never usually put competitors that I don't help on my Instagram, but he's that good. This guy with that waistline.
Yeah, no, this guy looked tremendous too, but it's not him. It's the next guy.
All right, let's see.
This guy had a crazy small waist.
Oh yeah, no. I know Daniel Amons too. Yeah, I've seen his physique. I'll pull him up for you. Yeah, all these guys. The men's physique guys are always all in shape. I mean, if you want to see a class that's routinely, shredded, it's them because that's what they're being judged on.
Yeah.
Is this your guy?
No.
He's fifth.
Fourth, then. You're gonna make me search for him.
Probably the third place guy you're talking about. Then. It's probably Rashad Watson. Yeah, this is your kind of physique, I'm sure.
Crazy pack scales. You look. Maybe not.
That him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know, Dave. I think you're missing someone. Hold on.
Rashad Watson.
I'm going to have to go to the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a lot of noise, Dave.
You can make all the noise you want. I'm pulling up another. I'm out of men's physique already. I'm ready to go someplace else. I'm ready to talk about fitness. That's the class. That's the only thing I really miss.
Dave loves the fitness class.
I do because it's the most entertaining. I think the Olympia is going to be great. You got Adela coming back this year. You got Oksana Grishina coming back. You got the reigning champion, and now you have Ariel Kadar coming too. And I'll tell you a story about Ariel Kadar. Or as my wife likes, I always say her name wrong. Ariel Kadar. I met her. Her mom brought Ariel to my house with her. Mm-hmm. She was either 15 or 16.
Oh, yeah, you told me the story. Yeah, but say it again because people haven't heard it. It is a very good story.
She was a gymnast and she wanted to get into fitness, which was a good. I don't know why more gymnasts don't get into fitness, to be honest with you. And she just loved, like, she knew all the people who were competing, and she was like, like starstruck over them. But she had some amazing skills in gymnastics, obviously, and she just didn't understand. She didn't know that much about diet, so I helped her with her first diet and went over a lot of stuff with her and her mom, and just supplements to take and stuff like that. And I think at the time she was the youngest IFBB pro in the fitness division. I think someone beat that record, but she was, you could tell her routine was so much better than everyone else's that. It wasn't even close. Nowadays, her physique has really come into its own, and she's really short. She's under 5 feet, But in today's fitness world, there's not that many good routines anymore. So she really shines. So she
Why is it not good routine? So explain
that. I don't know. I just don't think
for the class that needs routines. I mean, it's based on a routine.
There's not enough. It's a very expensive sport. You have to have a choreographer, right, to choreograph your routine, unless you're just a prodigy like Oksana is. And you have to practice. Think about how much time and effort it takes. It's enough to go to the gym. It's enough to do your cardio and your dieting. And now you got to practice a routine for an hour and a half a day or more. You saying more than that, Amanda?
I think you're making it more big deal.
Amanda's saying I'm making it more of a big deal than it is.
More gymnasts. This is nothing for them. They're walking into it, not even practicing.
Like they're not even practicing. They're walking. They're still got to choreograph the routine.
That's not that big of a deal. They're doing it.
So what's Amanda say? Why is it not?
So why aren't there more people doing it? Big Shot.
I don't know anything about it, and I think it's all steroid related.
Oh, she's saying that the gymnasts themselves, like the real gymnasts, don't go into it because they think like it's all steroids and stuff like that, and they don't want to. They don't want to hear it.
Very hesitant.
And the parents don't want to do it. Who knows?
It feels like it's a dying division.
I don't think I think it could be rekindled with if they really nurtured it.
I know, but you know what you do, Dave? You know what you do? You know what? When you have a supplement line, you have a supplement line, and you have 8 products, and 6 sell really well, and the 7th and 8th, the 7th sells kind of sort of, and the 8th is like your wife would say, "Why are we selling this product? Nobody likes it. Nobody buys it."
Yeah, it was the product that I love the most.
Yeah, isn't that true? You say because that's why you keep it.
Yeah.
Maybe they keep it for nostalgia, but I mean, it's just interesting that it just feels like it's a dying class.
They keep it because it's the most entertaining class, at the shows.
But nobody can. You can't even. Who gets entertained at these shows?
You know what, Chris? I actually like that. Yeah, I know. You know what? Unfortunately, you're right, but I actually like.
It's hard to be Dave. You know what? It's hard to be entertained when the shows are so long.
Right. No, it's true. But you know what? It is better than less girls because it doesn't last as long. You get 10 routines and that's it. You're done. That's enough. I remember I was at the first fitness nationals. It was they held it at the Team Universe, and I forget what year it was. Remember they only had bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding. This is the first time they would have another class of women. It was called fit. They called it fitness. You had a routine. You had to wear a 1-piece and a 2-piece.
Oh, I remember that. That's right.
Chris, they had at the Fitness Nationals. I remember I think it was in Jersey. Or no, it was at Tribeca Performing Arts Center. Weinberger held it there. There had to be 55 girls in this show. Okay. Every girl had to do the routine, which was like 2.5, 3 minutes. I remember I was sleeping in the front row. I fell asleep because the routine round took so long. Yeah. That was the beginning of the end for the quick show. Before that, it was just bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, men's bodybuilding. You're out of there. Now they added an extra 3 hours to the program, so to speak.
Yeah, 3-minute routine, right? Times 50.
And they eventually got rid of the 1-piece because it was taking too long because it was redundant. And why would you judge someone with their abs being covered? And then the routines, I think, got cut down in size a little bit. And then the competitors then when they started figure, you lost most of the fitness girls. Went to figure. But yeah, I remember Jenny Lynn actually won the fitness nationals, and on the same day she won her class in the figure nationals. A lot of people don't realize that.
See, you are like a John.
Paul Wilkins won the fitness and figure nationals on the same day. I think both overalls too.
Oh, that's right.
So there's a little trivia for you trivia buffs. So anyway, congratulations, Ariel Kadar. Women's bodybuilding. Well, let's do women's physique first. Ivy Rain. I like her physique a lot. Let me see what you probably haven't even looked at the pictures yet. Let me pull her up.
Women's physique.
Women's physique. Which to me, there's no distinction between women's physique and women's bodybuilding anymore. They should just
exactly why I said it like that. Women's physique.
Great conditioning, good presentation.
Yeah, she's a bodybuilder, but go ahead.
Now I'll pull up. Now she won the physique. Okay, so congratulations, she's going to the Olympia. The physique class was great, by the way. There was a lot of girls in it. And then I'm going to pull women's bodybuilding, who LaDawn McDay. She's been around for quite a while. She's got a really good physique. She struggles with bringing the conditioning I think that she needs to in. She brought enough here to win. Who wins? Showdown. Women's physique overall, women's bodybuilding overall.
Physique.
Right, easy. Why these physique girls don't catch on and start doing bodybuilding?
You've been saying that, Dave.
I would be jumping in there and doing bodybuilding because you know what? Like you said, Jake Wood is going to make a huge prize package for the women bodybuilders.
I hear it's going to be $401,000 more than the
more than the men. No, it doesn't make sense anymore to have two divisions. They're the same. The criteria the same. You can't be too big in physique anymore. You can't be too hard. Combine them.
Compare second and second. So there's my analysis to my personal opinion on first. How about second? Second from physique. Let's compare
second in bodybuilding, who I know, Janine Lekowski. I used to work with her years ago, and I don't do her diet anymore. But let's do Janine, and let's take a look at pictures of her. She looked really good here. Right, there's second place in bodybuilding. Okay, she's a little bigger. She could be harder from behind, but she looks good. She definitely, could have made a case for her winning the show. I mean, if you wanted to. And here's second place, Jeannie Feldman in Physique. And she's probably the hardest girl. She could be a little bit, she's not as big, but let's pull her up. We're doing this comparison. All right, that's Jeannie Feldman.
Since Amanda's in the background, can someone explain to me how women's bodybuilding went I mean, they used to be how would Sharon Rill do in this show?
How would who?
Sharon Rill do.
Oh, yeah, Sharon Marvel.
Chris Bongiovanni, no-name people who didn't even win shows.
Oh, they would have crushed these girls. I told Sheila Black, I said, Sheila, you should have done the show, man. You would have done it. But, look, you can only judge what's up there. I understand that. And there wasn't that many. But I think that the problem now is that there's I don't see new people coming into women's bodybuilding. I see just the existing people that were there already. And there's nothing wrong with that because I know a lot of these girls. They're hard workers. But you know what? I want to see new talent coming into that division, especially if you're going to hold Miss Olympia again. I don't want to see the senior tour. You know what I mean?
You don't want to see Iris versus the lady from
I don't want to see Iris versus Lender again, even though I would love to. Nostalgia-wise, I want to see the best of the best up there. And Iris probably is still the best of the best. And she'll probably win again. I want to see put these women physique girls on there. I want to see, what's her name? Shanique Grant against Iris Kyle on that stage. That's Miss Olympia, right?
Yeah.
That's like the old Lender and Iris battles, Kim and Lenda Murray battles. Get the best of both divisions, combine them, and let's see who wins.
No,
once again, the criteria hasn't changed. They're the same criteria. No, I've never seen them say in recent times that a women's physique girl was too hard or too big.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened.
No,
right?
No,
so,
right.
And obviously the criteria are the same. I haven't heard them. I just don't know what the reason is for having two divisions anymore. We have a Miss Olympia back. We have a guy in Jake Wood who supports women's bodybuilding and supports that end of the sport. It's not going anywhere. Put the Olympia back in place. We don't need physique anymore. The physique was created because whoever was in charge didn't like women's bodybuilding. They felt it wasn't marketable. Now it's back in vogue because we have someone supporting it financially. Throw it together again. You don't even have to call it women's bodybuilding, but you call it Miss Olympia. You have one class. You want to call it women's physique? Fine. I don't have a problem with that.
That's the smartest thing you said on the show today. Just call it Miss Olympia. Don't even call it women's bodybuilding. Just Miss Olympia.
Yep.
And you know what? You'll know it when you see it. In other words, you just should be judging physiques.
Now, the true reason I have you here, Chris, on this show is not really to break down bodybuilding.
The true reason is nobody else will do it at midnight.
John Hanson, but he might be drunk. Just kidding, John. I love you. No, it's for you to explain and to break down wellness for me, because here's our wellness champion, Renee Harshley. I don't understand wellness. It's funny. She got a great physique, but I don't know really what distinguishes this as wellness versus,
Well, I thought they were supposed to have like big hips and big glutes.
Yeah, I understand, and I understand also that they can only judge really what's available to judge. But to me, I mean, this could be a slightly, this looks like figure to me, or like a bikini girl almost, like with really good conditioning.
No, because bikini should be like 10 pounds less, right? Ready to tip over.
The problem is the only real wellness girls. Now I'm going to sound like a stereotyping.
You're going to sound like your father, or you're going to sound like
South America. The South America, those big legged, big glute women. That's wellness. That's what it was created.
Well, let's see second and third. Let's see the call out.
All right, I'll get the call out. You're the technician, so you should be able to break this down. You shouldn't only be able to break down bodybuilding. You should be able to do all these divisions, Chris.
I mean, the division is created to.
I couldn't tell you it's crazy. Here's your call out.
Yeah, let's see the.
They look like women's physique girls standing like bodybuilders, standing like bikini competitors. That's what
it's the first. Is it the first show?
I think it's the first pro,
Okay,
right?
So I mean, what's going to happen is it's going to evolve, and you're going to find someone, right? The Linda Murray or the Flex Wheeler of
but does it warrant it? I mean, it's because it's like I said, I mean, you're going to get some Brazilian, obviously.
Yeah.
Who's going to win it, right?
Who's going to dominate for 10? I was just going to say, that's why I said like a flex, that people's going to say, do you see that girl with the big legs? But she's like.
Here's Kesha, or I don't know how you pronounce her name, Keisha Rivera.
Okay, so what would happen if she did bikini? Judges would say what? She's too thick around the hips?
Yeah, too big. But what about if she did women's physique?
A woman's physique? She looks more like a woman's physique than...
She's great in women's physique. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, the whole thing is about a big lower body, but the problem is when you build very few people except the Brazilians will just build their lower body. They build their upper body too.
The title is odd.
Yeah, well, that's what they call it. Yeah,
it sounds like it's like a healthy. It sounds like it's
probably the most unhealthy division out
there. Why is it the most unhealthy?
Because the girls are big. I don't know. Look, it's it's almost like a like how you go to certain countries, they have a certain cuisine that you just can't get anyplace else. You got to go to that country.
Regional,
right?
Regional.
Not.
That's why you spit out Brazil right away.
You can't have this. U.S. people just don't have the genetics for that division. U.S. girls. You know what? I understand it brings business into the NPC and the IFBB, and that's good for our business. So the more people who participate, I guess, the better off it is. I just think sometimes these divisions get. I was making a joke, and I said, they should. If they can have that for women, why don't they have the bear division for men? For guys who want to just be hairy, hairy guys. They have beards and like guys, let their chest hair grow, back hair. They still get ripped and have a lot of muscle, but it's like the bear division, and why not, right? I mean, we can make a division of guys like that who just want to be hairy on stage. They don't want to shave down, they want to have like a tough, gruff look, And I know there's a whole population of gay guys out there who like bear men, that have a lot of hair on them. Why not? You can make a division. There'll be people who enter it.
I guess it would mean someone else has to start the division and be successful with it first, and then.
Or how about just a beard division? Guys with the biggest, craziest beards with crazy physiques.
That might go off.
That would go off. Guy Cisternino would be right up there. You have Seth Feroci, right? Who else is sporting one of those crazy beards? Jason Ha had a great beard like that. Also,
but I think in wellness, you'll see someone you'll say, Chris, wait till you see this wellness girl, and I'll say, wow, she looks crazy.
Right, but you're going to get one girl like that, unless you get a whole division of Brazilians. I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that,
Maybe, and then
it's a cultural thing down there. That's what's attractive. The men find attractive, the big booty, big legs. And so these women, they train like maniacs, the legs, and get huge legs. Yeah. It's out of proportion to their upper body, but that's the division. You don't have to have a proportionate upper and lower. The lower body should actually be bigger, I think, according to the criteria.
Is this going to be an Olympia event this year?
Yeah, there's an Olympia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonder what the prize money is going to be. Maybe
probably more than the men. I don't know. Who knows? I sound like an old man in this, but you know what? The truth is that there should be some, I don't know, some purity preserved in the sport. Like you can't have a division for everyone.
Well,
everyone doesn't have to be a champion. Every physique, category.
It's like kindergarten when they say, they give out 10,000 awards at the end of the kindergarten year. Right. Whereas 40 years ago, maybe they gave out, best speller, smartest in math, and they made everyone else feel bad.
Now they have the guy who's best at Lincoln Logs and the kid who can put the best Legos together, and then they have
best attendance in January.
Exactly. I had one of my friends. I don't think he ever missed a day of school. He had like perfect attendance his whole school career. What a streak that is! Imagine you get sick one day and you're like toward the end of your thing, and you're like, I got to go to school. I got to at least check in. That was one. Record I wasn't looking to break or anything like that.
Maybe Jake can bring back. You know what Hanson was talking about when they used to have the body part awards.
Those were good.
Right? Maybe at the Olympia they can have best body part awards. Then people on Instagram would say, "Oh my gosh, Rolly should be Mr. Olympia. He won best calves. He won best triceps. He won best How can he possibly not be Mr. Olympia? He won because there's a little bit more to it."
No, that was good. I like to do that. But I think best poser awards are good to give out because it kind of really pushes guys to be better on stage in their routines.
If you go back to I do sound like Johnny Hansen. If you go back to the Olympia when it was in Los Angeles, watch the video of the night show. The routines were insane.
Yeah.
It's like people worked hours and hours and hours on their routine.
Yeah, I mean they were proud of it.
Phil Hill had a crazy routine. I just watched it the other day. Someone had sent it to me. Was it Hansen? Maybe Hansen sent it to me. Or snippets of it. Sean Ray's routine was probably the best he's ever done. Did he make top 10? I don't think he made top 10.
Oh, really? Huh.
I think it was like 23 or something.
But that's it's a lost art. Obviously, I've been sending everyone now.
You nailed it right there, Dave. It's a lost art.
Since that Melvin Anthony video came out, interview came out this past week, the 2 parts. I don't know if you saw the whole thing. We talk a lot about posing in there, and I'm sending guys now to Chris Cormier and Melvin to do posing, for routines and stuff like that. I send a lot of my amateur people to Kenny Wallach just because he's patient with them, but for the bodybuilders that need to work on presentation and who need to really work on their routine, I've been sending a couple of guys that went to Melvin and to Chris, and they've been working with them and doing a good job because I think the presentation aspect is just terrible.
Well, that's why I said, I think what you said. I think figure is the most entertaining. It used to be men's bodybuilding was most entertaining. Well, I mean, there wasn't all these other divisions, but it was entertaining in and of itself, and that is gone. Yeah. Who has crazy Olympia routines now? 2 or 3 people are very good routines.
Yeah. Well, Melvin talks about when I think we mentioned this before about when I think it was one Arnold Classic where they gave a best poser. They always give best poser, but it was him, Darum, Charles, and Kai all competing for the best poser award. And Melvin went last. I think Darren went on first and did his usual real great routine. He always does. Kai came on and did his routine. And, Kai is so, weird the way he does his routine. He kind of came out slow music. Then he went into crazy, whatever he was doing, Michael Jackson type stuff. And then he kind of ended slow, which is not something Melvin said that's the biggest mistake you can make. You never end slow. You always end on a high note. And then Melvin and Dexter was breaking Melvin's balls because Melvin was watching it on the monitor. And Dexter's like, I don't know, you going to be able to take him? You going to be able to take him? And Melvin's like, I got this. Melvin knew he had it and Melvin went out and just whacking crazy routine and won best poser. And that's a huge accolade. Say I beat those 2 guys as best poser on one night. We always try to say who's the best poser of all time. He beat Darum and he beat Kai on the same night in the same show. I mean, and
they gave him an award. It wasn't someone's opinion.
And he got $1,000 for it. Yeah. So who's better than Melvin? Melvin's the most entertaining, I think, of all time. And he just by beating those 2 guys on that night, you got to give it to him.
Yeah, well, we discussed about Melvin.
Yeah,
never came close to reaching. I mean,
a
lot of people don't come.
He could have been made way better. Yeah.
How old is he now?
I don't know. I guess I think he's in his late 40s. He must be. He's got to be close to me. I mean, I don't know if he's 50 yet, but he's probably late 40s. Probably around Jay's age. Yeah, He's a super entertainer. He's so fun. I'm trying to get him. I want to get him on Iron Rage not Iron Rage, on Iron Debate because he's got so many strong opinions on things. Yeah, he's a really interesting guy.
Who are you going to debate him with? Lee Priest?
I don't know. He could debate anyone. That's the great thing. He's another guy like Dexter. You don't want to get into a debate with him. You know what I mean? You'll never win with Melvin. First of all, he'll make you laugh so hard that no one will even take your opinion serious, But he's right about everything, because he'll convince you he's right about everything. And that's what makes a good debater. That's why Dexter's so funny. Like, even if Dexter is wrong about something, you can't argue with the guy. He'll come up with some kind of logic that will make you think that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, throw you off your game.
Right. I also interviewed this past week Sarah Piana, which is Rich Piana's ex-wife. She has never done an interview or talked about Rich since Rich passed. And so we got a good two-parter if people want to check it out at RxMuscle.com.
How did you get that interview?
She contacted me. She wanted to do it.
Any preview? Anything controversial?
She told the story of what it was like to be with Rich Piana. You got to watch the interview. I think it was very entertaining. A lot of people vilified her as like the bad guy, and I think they just don't really know what the true story was. So, I'm not talking about because of the death. I'm talking about just their relationship in general, because they broke up well before Rich passed away. But it was great. Rich is like being married to like a rock star. It was a crazy fucking whirlwind, tour. He was at the show every weekend. She was there filming with him, and all the craziness that goes on at Rich's booth, and it was a wild ride, so to speak. And she was from another country, and she it is what it is. She tells the whole story, the real truth, at least her truth. What the real truth is, I guess no one will ever know. But I believe that she came off as very authentic to me. So, and that's it. We got a lot of good stuff up on the site this past week. So if you missed all this stuff, you can go watch the replays of it. Obviously, we got